Hey everybody, I'm Brandon72Mo. Welcome to the first part of my fourth update of my 128 car, $76 million garage tour. If you want to see your own garages featured on my channel, send a tweet at Brandon72Mo with the hashtag garage tour. The Bikers DLC for GTA Online gave us additional properties to store vehicles, so my collection has grown to 128 total vehicles worth over $76 million. Each video in this update series will start with the least expensive rides and work their way up in value. The bikes and cars in today's video are worth around $1 million, but all 35 vehicles in this three-part update are worth over $13 million. If you enjoy this video, please drop a like and get subscribed. Now, let's get to the cars. Before we look at what's new, let's take a quick look at some of the cars that I've gotten rid of. Before Rockstar added in the 6th garage, I needed to make space for new vehicles. So, I said goodbye to the Obey Tailgater from the 3rd video in this series, the Ubermax Sentinel and Oracle from my 2nd update video, as well as the Burger Shot Stallion and the Class 8 Drift Tampa from my 3rd update video. I also got rid of my customized Benefactor Dubsta 2, but don't worry, I've since then picked up a different Dubsta 2. When Rockstar did add in the 6th property, I picked up a few cars that I had previously gotten rid of, but really missed having around. Since I've covered these before, there's no need to go into a lot of detail on them. But I now have back in my garages from my very first garage tour video, the rare NPC modified Ultra Blue Vapid Dominator, and a chrome version of the rare Dubsta 2. The Benefactor Schwarzer from the 4th garage tour video, the Vapid Guardian from the 5th video, and the NPC modified to Classy Sabre Turbo from my 7th garage tour video. At the end of the 3rd video in this update series, I'll give you a quick peek inside of all my garages so that you can see my entire collection. Now, let's get on to what's brand new. Up first is the Shih Tzu PCJ 600. The Bikers DLC made my dream of owning a ton of bikes possible, especially with the dedicated storage for bikes in the MC clubhouses. The PCJ 600 was one of the first bikes that I stole off the streets to begin filling up all of that space. This Street Fighter style bike actually spawns in 2 variations, one with 2 smaller headlights and this one with a single larger headlight, and I prefer this one. The only disappointment is that the PCJ 600 in GTA 4 had really great performance, but it seems to have been downgraded in GTA 5. Still, it is a fun bike to ride around in lobbies, just don't expect it to be competitive in racing. Up next is the Shih Tzu Vader. With very few exceptions that'll be coming in the 3rd video of this update, none of the bikes that I'll be featuring are going to win races. And you know what? I'm okay with that. If I only own vehicles because they would help me take first place, well, I wouldn't need 14 garages. The Vader is a welcome addition with its unique headlight assembly and overall sporty design. I'm gonna start sounding like a broken record soon, but the Vader isn't all that quick. It does have solid cornering abilities, but it simply lacks the top speed and acceleration to make it competitive with the top bikes. The 3rd bike in this update is the Principate Nemesis. The top speed on this one picks up a little, but only a little, with the Nemesis. The same is true for cornering, as this bike can turn in quite nicely to carve up some corners. I believe the Vader was crafted in the spirit of a dual sport bike, as it does fairly well off-road. It keeps its composure over bumpy terrain, and it doesn't really lose a whole lot of speed in the dirt. Sadly, like many of the sportier bikes in GTA Online, the Nemesis doesn't have any customization options aside from wheels and paint. That limits your ability to create something truly unique, but at least it's a good looking bike in its stock form. The Westernbagger is number 4 in this update to my $76 million garage tour. The Bagger is an interesting bike because it has so many design options. You can choose from customizations that'll make it look like a classic comfy cruiser, all the way through what I've done with a more sporting appearance. The Bagger was pretty high up on my list of bikes to acquire after I picked up the Bikers MC Clubhouse for my 2nd character. I think this bike turned out perfect with minimal body mods and bright yellow paint. And other players get a great chance to admire the design as well because the Bagger is not all that quick. In fact, if I'm not mistaken, it has the lowest top speed of all the bikes in GTA Online. Up next is the Pegassi Ruffian. This is one of the few bikes that I have stored in a regular garage instead of inside of the NC Clubhouse. Why? Well, because it's Pegassi, and my second character has a growing collection of nearly all things Pegassi. The Ruffian represents that Italian manufacturer quite well with its high top speed and solid performance on a track. While it's not the absolute quickest, it was only about 4 seconds slower than the top bikes around the track before Bikers DLC arrived. There are also a few visual modifications for the Ruffian, which allows you to design a bike that will hopefully stand apart from others in the game. Of course, I don't really see that many players riding a Ruffian to begin with, so if you want a bike that has solid performance, can hold a wheelie forever, and lets you play around with the design, pick up a Ruffian today. Before we move on to the next vehicles in this update video, I want to remind you that you can have your own garages featured on my channel by sending a tweet at Brandon72Mo and including the hashtag Garage Tour. I'm an absolute gearhead, so I love looking at and talking about cars. If you enjoy cars as much as I do, I'd love to feature your garages. Also, keep an eye out for an upcoming video in this series featuring all of my Pegasus vehicles, as well as further updates to my garages as I get new cars. If you want to see all those vehicles, keep those likes coming. Number 6 is the Karen Sultan. This is, obviously, not a Sultan RS. I already have one of those, and I might eventually get a second one. But I still like the original Sultan as well. It's a fantastic looking car with a ton of upgrade options that allows you to create a truly unique ride without ever paying an outrageous upgrade fee at Benny's. I wanted to go with a really understated look on my Sultan, and I think I pulled that off with this dark blue paint and these wheels. At a glance, it doesn't really appear that I've done all that much to it, but when you see it lined up next to a stock Sultan on the street, all the small touches really stand out and make my Sultan a unique ride. Next up is the Dinka TT. The performance is once again a step up from a lot of the other sports bikes in the game. And once again, before the Bikers DLC came along, this was the 4th fastest bike around the track. If you're wondering what lap times I'm quoting, well, it's what I call the gospel according to Bruffy. Bruffy1322 does extensive top speed and lap time testing of every vehicle in the game. And according to him, this is one quick bike. Not only is it quick, it looks great. Now, there aren't a lot of customization options for the TT, however. You can opt for carbon fiber panels on the bodywork, but you lose the ability to paint quite a bit of the bike. Still, with the right colors and wheel choice, you can create a unique ride that's pretty damn quick. Our next vehicle is the Western Damon, or Demon, or however the fuck you want to pronounce it. This is the original version of the bike, not the new one that was added with Bikers DLC. You can spot the differences by the Lost MC insignia on the seat, the custom flame paint job, and other slight variations between this one and the newer version. The classic Damon also has different engine and exhaust sounds than the newer version, and of course, it doesn't have the same customization options. That's not to say that it lacks customization, because there's quite a bit of things about this bike that you can change in Los Santos Customs, but it just doesn't have the same options as the newer version. Where it is similar, however, is in performance. This classic version turns in nearly the same lap time and reaches nearly the same top speed. Given that you can steal this bike instead of shelling out 6 figures for the newer one, why wouldn't you want the classic Damon in your garage? Number 9 is the Larathicon, I don't know, Prairie. I think the Prairie is a car that a lot of players overlook in GTA Online. Sure, like a lot of the vehicles that we've seen in this video, it's not going to come first in races without a miracle. It does, however, have fairly respectable top speed. Its front-wheel drive layout and high-revving engine also makes it a lot of fun to drive. But what a lot of players don't realize is that this lightweight compact is incredibly easy to drift. Everybody knows that the Fudo and the Schwarzer can drift, but if that's what you're into, you should really check out a fully upgraded Prairie. It has enough customization options to let you create a unique look, and it's a great little car to drive around. Number 10 for this update is the rare NPC modified Vapid Peyote. Even though this car never made it to the roster of official lowriders, despite seeing a copy inside of Benny's, it's still a fantastic looking car. Back in my Xbox 360 days, the gang and NPC modified Peyotes were the car to steal if you were interested in making a quick buck. They sell for around 12 grand. Sure, in the new gen era of 23 grand dubs to twos, that's not much cash. But back then, it was all we had. On top of being a decent source of income on old gen, it's not a bad looking car. There are numerous options for it in Los Santos Customs that allows you to create something set apart from all other peyotes. And in this NPC modified variation, it's sporting a paint combination that you simply cannot obtain in LSC. And number 11 is the Classe Granger. I'll admit, getting a Granger started out on a whim. Some of my friends were looking for them in a specific variation, so I joined in on the fun to help them all find them. Then I had the chance to drive one off-road, and I was thoroughly impressed. After that, the Granger joined my list of cars to steal. I've designed mine to resemble the Chevy Suburban that Tony Soprano drove all those years ago in the hit HBO show, The Sopranos. I absolutely loved that show, so it was only fitting to make a tribute to that iconic SUV. And this isn't the only SUV that you'll see in my updated collection to be inspired by the mob boss of North Jersey. So there you go. 11 cars and bikes worth roughly $1 million in the first part of my update to my 128 car, $76 million garage tour. Remember to drop a like if you enjoyed this video and this series. And don't forget to look for new GTA Online garage tour videos as I get new cars, as well as a special video that will feature my Pegasus vehicles. Don't forget that you can have your garages featured in a video on my channel by simply sending a tweet at Brandon72Mo and including the hashtag Garage Tour. You can also check out all of the videos in my Garage Tour playlist. Be sure to subscribe if you haven't already, and don't forget to follow me on social media. And come hang out with us on the Vainglorious forums and the Vainglorious Discord server. All those links are in the description down below. I'm Brandon72Mo, and I'll see you in the next video.